I'd like to start out by saying that a bus crash involving school children is every public safety professional's worst nightmare, but it's also the thing that we all train for. And you have police, fire, EMS, and our partners out here doing everything they can to rescue victims and support the families of those who've already been treated. Our hearts go out, as well as the hearts of all these people behind me, to the family, the neighborhood, the school, for all of the people involved in this. And we assure you that we're doing everything we can to help everybody be as safe as they can, get the care they need, and get the support they need. Here are the details we know right now, which are very limited, and there will be more information coming as we get it. There was a school bus traveling from Woodmore Elementary down Tally Road towards me in the direction behind me. There were, we believe, 35 children on that school bus, ranging from kindergarten through 5th grade. It was a single vehicle crash. Rescue efforts are ongoing, and I strongly request your patience, both with the scene and with my personnel. We are still actively using specialized techniques and tactics to treat and rescue victims. All of the agencies you see behind me, from the district attorney to THP to TEMA, are working together to help everybody be as safe as they can. We're very fortunate to have a number of counselors and chaplain on staff, and the state has sent in counseling teams from across the state to help the families. 23 patients have been transported to various hospitals. The bus driver of the vehicle involved in the crash is cooperating with police in the investigation. He is in the company of police investigators right now. We're going to give updates as often as we can. You can expect them, even if there is no information, every half hour. Those updates will come at Woodmore Elementary and only at Woodmore Elementary. There will be no more briefings here. All future briefings will be done at Woodmore Elementary or via social media. We have time for a couple questions, then we have to get back and take care of the people that are taking care of your families. Does anybody have any questions?
Can you confirm if there are any children that have died?
I cannot confirm that. We've had 23 transported to the hospitals, and we're working on rescuing the victims who are here on the scene. As soon as we have that information from our partners at the hospitals, and as soon as the victims' families have been notified, if that's the case, we will let the public know.
Are there any still on board the bus right now?
There are rescue efforts ongoing. Yes, ma'am.
One more question and we got to go.
Yeah. Any idea how long this driver has been driving this route?
I don't know. Well, the school district, as you can see, is standing behind me. They're working very hard with us to make sure everybody gets information about their loved ones and that everybody gets that kind of feedback. That'll be important in the ongoing investigation, and we'll make sure that you all get that at the appropriate time. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Wow. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Tiffany, Ebony, this is like a big story that happened that went nationwide. 6 young life kids under the age of 10 was killed in this bus accident. And I think it's a nightmare on Tally Road. Give me some of your feedback, what you just heard as we just watched that news piece.
I'll let Miss Ebony go.
Thanks. I mean, it's devastating, especially being a mom. Like my little one is 7. So I think when I was looking at it, so like the youngest was 6, the oldest was about like 10, 12. And the wild part is, so we were in 1st grade, but like the bus system was very new to us. We actually just did that this year. And it was just an odd thing for me because I have never had to ride the bus. So my little one having to ride the bus is this sense of having to give your child to this space to be transported safely, or in this ultimate hope to get from point A to point B, but you truly never know. And so I could only imagine the like horror of hearing anything or being there and waiting. So it's definitely a lot. And so I'm really interested to get into the story, listen to the mom, because as a parent, let alone the parent of just one child, that's a big deal.
Yes. Tiffany, as I'm showing some pictures, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts now, I don't have any physical children. But just knowing that a mom probably got her daughter dressed kissed her, sent her off on her way to school, and never in a million years would she think she would get a call like this. Not just a call that, hey, she had a boo-boo or maybe there was an accident, but to get a call saying that, your daughter lost her life. I'm sure that can be devastating. That can be the most horrendous nightmare that you ever want to live through. So, I know probably certain memories, are probably very hurtful, or just trying to make sure she stays strong for even other children, or children around her can be a task as well. So yeah, I'm sure that can be, I'm positively sure that it can be devastating. It was devastating, and it still is devastating.
And we know that 6 kids was killed on that bus. And I don't know if you guys know, she had 2 other kids on that same bus, where one of the sibling was sitting right next to the
Mm.
sibling that passed away, and the oldest child was behind them. And I can't even imagine. We're gonna see some videos of the kids tonight as well, talking about what the witness at their sister last moment, how they had to tell their mother, my sister is gone. We're gonna hear a video of how many years this bus driver received. um when I seen it and heard it, I was pissed, because I said this is ridiculous, as helping different families at the darkest hours. And there's no time frame. Let me say this: if you kill somebody and get 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 140 years, there's no time worth um a lifespan. This bus driver received what he called justice. I call it ridiculous. We're gonna hear about that in a little bit. I want to bring mom up. Mom have a story, not just that she lost her babies. So when we look at these pictures, um, you might be wondering, like, how much money did the Sula school system, the bus system? Yes, answer that for you. Mom gonna tell you how much they received it and what happened to that money. Going to shock you. What happened to the money? That money can't bring back her babies. Nobody babies. This I keep that money. Keep those, ducks. Give me my baby at the end of the day. Having a 2-year old, I can't even imagine putting him on a school bus in the care of somebody who's supposed to be trusted, and to receive a phone call to come somewhere because there's an accident, and getting there to hear that my son is dead. I ain't gonna even cap. I don't know if incarceration is the correct word for me at the moment. Um, I don't know. But we're gonna hear from mom. Her name is Jasmine. Let's welcome her up on stage. Hey,
Oh,
Jasmine, how you doing? Let me tell you, Jasmine say she's an open book, y'all. So she say she's an open book. She here to tell her story. Um, I'm gonna walk her through some timeline as she tell her story. Jasmine, tell us, what was that day like in the morning before you put your babies on the bus?
well, actually, I want to take it back a few days before
Okay.
because Zaira was actually preparing us for her departure. That Friday she had got out of school and she wanted to go and spend the night with my big sister house.
Mm-hmm.
And so we goes and we drive around there. And my big sister was like, "No, your uncle don't want no kids this weekend. My kids come to your house." So we call her Fat Fat. Fat Fat was like, "She gonna miss me when I'm gone." So the next day, which was Saturday, my nephews had got on my husband's nerves at the time. So he was like, "Take them home." So I took them home, and Zara rode with me. And as we was sitting outside, she said, "It's a stairway." She said, "Mama, I want to go to heaven so that I can visit baby sister, Uncle Trail, and Inez." I said, "Well, baby, once you go to heaven, you can't come back." She
Hold
said, "Yes,
on,
I
real
can."
fast, Jasmine. You say she said she wanted to go visit baby sister. Who was she referring to when she say baby sister?
My daughter that had passed the year before, Zaheaven.
So you had a baby that passed away prior to this accident.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So I was like, "Well, you can't." I said, "You go to heaven, you can't come back. Once you gone, you gone." She said, "Yes, I can." She said, "It's a stairway in heaven," and she pointed up in the sky, and it was literally clouds that was made steps up into a bright opening in the sky.
Mm.
I said, "Well, once you gone, you gone." She said, "Well, we all got to go someday." So I ain't thinking nothing of it. I was just like, stop talking like that. So the very next day, she wakes me up with this is Sunday now. She wakes me up and she says, it was like a little after 12 o'clock, and she was like, she had brought me a picture that she had drew me, and she was like, "I love my mom because you feed me." um and it was a picture or whatever. And then she was like, "Mama, let's go to church." I had never took my baby to church ever, like never like took them to church. So I was like, "Well, I'll take you next Sunday because church finna end." So she was like, "Okay." So later on that night, I was going to take, my friend over to my cousin's house, and wait, before that, she was in the tub getting ready for we were. She was in the tub getting ready for she was taking her bath, getting ready for school the next day, and she was started singing "Take Me to the King" word from word.
Mm.
So I go and I was like, I asked my husband, like, "You hear her?" He was like, "Yeah." So I go in the bathroom and I was like, "Where you learn that song from? YouTube?" She said, "No, it's playing in my head." So I was like, "Okay, that's odd." So she ended up, getting out to they ate, they fell asleep. So I was getting ready to go and take my friend to my cousin's house. And she popped up out of nowhere. She was like, "I want to go." And no time I'd be like, "No, it's a school night. Go back to sleep. I'll be back." But she that particular night, I let her and my oldest daughter, Zakaria, ride with me. So we on our way back or whatever, we just decided to, after we dropped my friend off back at their house, we decided to ride around and sang sang songs to each other. Just I don't know why, but we did. I don't know. And so by the time I looked, it was 2 in the morning. So we go back home, and the last song she sung to me was "Because of You," and we laid on the couch. She wanted to lay with me, so we laid on the couch. So we watching her tablet, and then she turned over and she was like, "Good night, mom. I'm going to sleep." So the next morning, I was got everybody up for school, and I was like, "Don't wake Fat up yet because she just went to bed at 4. It's 6 o'clock in the morning now." So she jump up anyway, and I was like, "Hey y'all, don't y'all want to stay at home with me today?" So my daughter Zoriana, we call her Zoe. She said that she was sick. She didn't feel good. She didn't want to go to school, so I let her stay at home. The rest of the kids like, no, we want to go to school. They was doing something at school or something. And then of course Zakaria, she's the bookworm, and she was like, I got perfect attendance. I don't want to miss school. So I was like, okay, well y'all can go to school or whatever. So Fat, she was like, Mama, can you fix my edges? Because they out of control. And that's how I ended up started selling edge control and shampoo and conditioner. I don't do that no more. But that's how I ended up started selling edge control and stuff. So I fixed her edges. She kissed me, gave me a hug, and was like, I love you, mama. Bye, mama. And she was like, I see you when I get home from school. And I should have known something was wrong because Fat does never. She never say bye. She always say see you later. She said because bye mean forever. See you later mean I'm coming back.
Mm.
So I they go out the door, go to school or whatever, and I take uh my 8 year old and my 10 month old. We went to go get breakfast, and we came back and we ate breakfast and watched TV. And I guess I was just extremely tired because I think I went to bed. Probably I went back to sleep about 10 something after lunch or whatever, and then I woke up because I had a dream that my kids had a school bus crash, and I seen my daughter with blood over her face in my dream. I seen her coat, um, but I couldn't make out which child it was because they're 9 months apart and they look exactly alike. So I wake up out my sleep. So it's time to go get my husband from work, and my daughter, my 8 year old Zoe, she said, "Mama, I really want to sleep. I mean sick. I lied. I just didn't want to go to school today because something really bad is gonna happen on that bus today." So I ain't
Mm.
pay no attention. I go outside. I say, come on, we finna go get your daddy from work. So we go outside. I'm walking outside, going to my car, but the end of my driveway, it was a line of black crows, lined in my driveway. And normal time when you come out your house or whatever, you bag your car up, they fly off. Well, when I backed my car up, they only parted ways and then came back once I got out of the driveway. Still like not paying no attention. So that particular day, I was supposed to get my son home from the NICU, and he was supposed to come home from NICU, and I told them I come and get them once I get my kids home and my husband home from school and work. So as I'm on my way to go get my husband, I get a call from the NICU. So they was like, hey, Miss Mateen, Quandarius is not coming home today. His blood sugar dropped. And normally time I'd be flipping out like, what y'all done did to my baby? Y'all gonna release my baby? But I didn't flip out. I was extremely calm for some reason. And I said, whatever's about to happen, I'm not gonna be able to handle that and deal with a newborn baby. So they was trying to transport him to the hospital where they pronounced our kids deceased at. But I told them no, leave him where he was at or whatever because it didn't matter if they transported him to that hospital or he stayed there. I stay right in the middle. I could get to either or. So we go. I pick my husband up. We go to Sonic. I always go to Sonic to get my ice and my pickles. So as I'm pulling out of the drive-through, a lot of police cars come flying through Sonic parking lot because behind Sonic is Tally Road. And I was like, dang, that must be a really bad bus crash. Not knowing it was my kid's bus crash. It was a bus crash for real, and it was my kids. So I pull around the corner to my house. Soon as I pull in the driveway and put my car in park, I get a call from my mama. And she's screaming, Nikki, uh, something wrong with your kid. And she was screaming real loud, like I couldn't understand what she was saying. I'm like, Mama, I can't hear you. What are you saying? So then
Mm-hmm.
she was, so I get a restricted call, and normally time I don't even answer restricted calls, but I answered it. I said, hold on, Mama, I got another call, and it was my oldest daughter, my 10-year-old Zakaria. She was like, Mama, we can't find Fat. We can't find Fat, and some of these kids are dead. And I was like, huh? So Officer Frazier get on the phone and he was like, Nikki, get up here to Taylor Road and Rogers Road right now. Your kids just had a really bad bus crash. So I go, I told my 8-year-old to go in the house because my my 12-year-old was getting out the bus or whatever. So I said, go in the house and let him in when he come. So I goes fly around to Taylor Road and Rogers Road, which is right up the street from me. And soon as I hit Taylor Road, I seen the bus on its side. I pulled up, I jumped out the car, forgot to put the car in park. My husband had to jump back in and put it in park. And I'm running up, trying to, see what's going on. Then my daughter come carrying Jasmine, we call her Bird. Zakari come carrying Jasmine to me or whatever. They all bloodied up. Jasmine got one shoe on, one shoe off. Um, my daughter's face was cut. Her teeth was missing. They had glass and stuff all in their hair. Um, so I get them situated. My daddy. By that time, my daddy come running down the street. My daddy and Zakari daddy come running down the street, and they started caring for them. So I started caring for the other kids or whatever. And then I go up and try to get past the crime scene, but they wouldn't let me get past the crime scene. Officer Frazier was like, "Have I ever stirred you wrong? Have I ever gave you any wrong information?" He was like, "I can't let you go up there." He was like, trust me. So I turned around and I started caring for all the other kids that was crying for their mama, wrapping them up in blankets that the EMS was given to wrap them up. And then I seen a little girl with the same coat and had the same hairstyle as my daughter. And I walked up to her, I was like, Fat, and I turned to spin her around, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, baby, I'm so sorry. So after that, they was like, y'all need to go to the hospital. They started loading our kids onto the stretchers and taking them to the hospital. And they were like, y'all need to go to the hospital. I was like, where's my daughter? Where is my daughter? I had another daughter on the bus. But Jasmine, when I asked Jasmine, I said, where is Fat or whatever? And she was like, Mama, she's dead. She's dead. I'm sorry, Fat, I'm sorry. And slung the one shoe that she had. And she was just crying. And I was like, she's not dead. She's not dead. Stop crying. She's not dead. So I asked Zakara, I said, where is Fat? She said, she's stuck between and started doing like this, trying to tell me she was stuck between the seats. So I go up to the police or whatever, and I was like, this ain't no, this not no accident. This is an incident. He tried to. I wrote letters. I went up to the school. I called the board of education. I did everything I was supposed to, and y'all didn't do nothing. Y'all didn't care. And he was like, you need to stay here because I need to get more information from you.
So hold on, I want to stop you right there and maybe Tiffany and Ebony want to speak on something you may have said. You said you said that you had told the school or the bus company of his behavior in the past. Am I
Yes,
accurate?
yes. I wrote a letter to school. The principal got on the bus and read the letter out loud in front of the kids on the bus to the bus driver.
Tiffany, Ebony, you guys have any follow up what she said so far?
For starters, I just want to commend you for telling that story with so much composure. Um, and even thinking back to saying that your daughter kind of knew or kind of prepared y'all, you know, I'm gonna let Ebony go.
No, I definitely agree with Tiffany. Well, thank you for sharing. I know you mentioned you have shared this story, but I can only imagine sharing it doesn't make it easier. So thank you for that. I know you mentioned that your daughter did mention she was. I think when we're in the moment as parents, your kids are saying stuff and you're really not thinking about it, especially when you're geared in the mission of like, okay, I gotta get y'all this, I gotta do this, point A, point B, my next move as a parent. So to have that hindsight of like, you left me with something that was a blessing that I do appreciate. And I mean, my heart, I feel like all of our hearts definitely go out to you. Um, and just to continue with your children that you have now and them telling you in that moment, this is what happened and reflecting on everything prior is a lot. And you are so strong as a mom. I'm sure you hear that all the time. You are so strong and appreciated for your kids and for everyone in your life, of course. Um, I don't want to push further than what we were trying to go past, but that letter, what was the letter that you wrote?
I had wrote to the school. It was about two different occasions. Actually, they posted the letter in the news
Hmm.
article, but they they was trying to tell our kids that they couldn't wear hoods or whatever, blah blah blah. Well, I'm a mother of nine. I don't have extra money to go and buy specific clothing just so that they can wear a jacket in school. And I told them, so I wrote in the letter, y'all are not gonna cut off no hoods of my kids' jackets. They're gonna wear their jackets. Y'all ain't gonna be in the hospital if my kids have to go in the hospital. And I said that I said, oh, and the for the bus driver, I said he keep making my kids fall out the seat and making the kids fall out the seats, hit their heads, speeding. Then my kids felt like that the bus is about to flip over. I said, and he keep on. I'm gonna beat his mother at myself. I ain't want to cuss, but yeah, that's what I
It's
said.
your story. It's your
Well,
story.
I told him I was gonna beat his motherfucking ass myself.
Now I did want to
So,
ask some. Oh, I'm sorry. You go ahead. I'm sorry.
uh, you go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm sorry. I had to get myself together. Um, just hearing you saying that you had lost a child prior, you had your baby getting out of NICU that same day, having to comfort your other babies while comforting other parents' babies while also looking for your child. And as I was saying, the way that you're keeping yourself composed while you tell this story, my hat's off to you. And I mean, you can tell, by the way that you tell the story that you're actually visualizing, what went on those days, leading up to, um and did it comfort you a little bit, the fact that your baby kind of tried to prepare you all?
You would never, ever, ever come to grips with. accepting the fact that your child is gone or about
Right.
to leave this earth. Death is a very hard thing, and it's very hard when it's your own child, the one
Mm-hmm.
that you carried, the one that you gave birth to, the one that you raised, the one that you had woke up and having sleepless nights because they're sick, or having to stay in hospital stays because they're sick, having to feed, having to clothe, having to struggle. Like it's like, and I can honestly say, like, I was a single. Yes, I was married, but guess what? I still was a single mama. I don't care what nobody say.
Mm-hmm.
Married, taking care of everything by myself, paying the bills by myself, clothing my kids by myself, helping with homework by myself, going to up to schools for meetings and stuff by myself. I did that by myself.
And y'all hear her. She says she was married but single. And I know Greg gonna look at this. That's definitely a topic that he handles Monday's relationship. How can you be married and single? It happens like that. Like she just said, she was the one handling everything. Um, Reverend Pat is on here, and she part of that Monday short. So she says, "My heart is so broken. As a mother myself, you are in my prayers, brutal." So thank you,
Thank you.
Reverend Pat, for coming on, being with us. Keep the comments coming. Um, I want to show a video real fast to everybody. Give me 1 second because you talk about how your baby has to tell you, my sister is dead. So I just want to share something with the public. And for this, I'm going to bring everybody down because I want everybody to see your babies.
6 young lives were cut short when bus 366 crashed on Talley Road in Chattanooga.
Hannah Lawrence sat down with 2 girls who survived that crash, and she talked to them about the tragic death when they lost one of their closest friends, their sister.
As you can imagine, it was very difficult for the 10 and 6-year-old girls to talk about the crash. Doctors told their mother that the girls may experience some memory loss because of the concussions they received that day. They told me now they're trying to forget most of what they do remember. Zaira Mateen's radiant smile still shines throughout her family's home. Her sisters Zakaria and Jasmine were on bus 366 with her when she died last November.
She was sitting at the window.
As the bus flipped and curled around this tree, sounds that children should never have to hear.
Glass break. Crying.
As a 4th grader, Zakaria was one of the older students on this bus. That day, with a fractured spine, she somehow found the strength to help others out of the wreckage.
I carried my sister down there where my mama was at.
Where was Zaira? You don't know where she was at that point. Jasmine knew, though. She'd been sitting next to her. What did you tell your mom?
That my sister was dead, but she was stuck between the seats.
How does a 6-year-old get that image out of her head? Jasmine says she's still trying to figure that out.
I used to be happy when she was here, but now I'm not happy.
One thing they do want to remember forever, though, Zaira's energetic, caring personality. So this is your poem right here, huh? They say she inspires their daily lives and even their schoolwork.
Z was for zebras, the Y was for young, A was for always respectful, R was for red, I was for I love her, and the last A was for amazing.
Zakaria says her sister wasn't the only amazing child who died that day. Zoe, Ziana, Damayan, Cordesia, and Keontae. All friends, all missed very much. The girls told me that they're both afraid to get on a school bus now because of fear it will crash again. Their mother now drives their family to and from school every day. Reporting for News Channel 9, I'm Hannah Lawrence.
Before I bring Mom back up, what just went through your head, Tiffany and Ebony? Starting with Tiffany.
Me, I can only imagine, you know, having to try to still be strong, for your other children, and just having a newborn, as Jasmine said. Um, just trying to make sure that you are there for your other kids while grieving your other child. That's a pain that doesn't go away. That's a pain that, and I say that it doesn't get better. You just learn to cope. It's always a memory. Waking up every day. She said the babies were 9 months apart. Waking up every day, looking at your one baby and constantly seeing your baby that passed away. Every morning getting your kids ready for school. I'm sure it always takes her back to a memory of that day. Everything can be a triggering moment, seeing the school bus, think about the kids going to school, knowing that she tried to say something about the bus driver and they didn't do anything. So I know there's continued frustrations, continued grief, of course. But as she said, she has a story to tell. And although her story is heartfelt, it's tragic, I'm sure her story will be able to help other parents who have been through similar things or have lost a child as well.
Thank you, Tiffany. Ebony, what just went through your mind as you watched these siblings tell their last moments with their sister?
Um, I think it's me trying to be calm
Mm-hmm.
because that's a lot. Like, if when it ended, the video ended, it was just straight chills. Um, I mean, I think as a parent or just anyone who has someone that is younger than you that you're caring for, your worst thought could be that something bad, let alone death, could happen to them, especially as a parent. Um, and then only to think of their sibling, your little ones having to witness something like that, especially the little one that was right next to her. Like, I couldn't fathom. And as a mom, you want to take that from them, but even as a parent, to continue to have the power to stay strong and keep moving forward when you have to now worry about yourself, but you can't even do that because you have to worry about your little ones and making sure they're okay. Like, it's the wait never ends. The
Yes.
wait never stop. Life never stops, but you have no choice but to keep going. That's a lot. Like, it's
Definitely.
And I do want to
And
say something about the
sure,
older
go ahead.
baby. As far as the older baby, you could kind of tell that when she was talking about her sister, how she put her head down. And I pray and hope that baby is not carrying, some type of weight behind that,
Mhm.
thinking, that it was her responsibility to save her sister and couldn't, so that's another trauma that those
Yeah.
babies have to go through, not only just
Yes.
seeing what happened, but constantly thinking, what could I have done?
Mhm.
So I pray that God continues to keep the family covered. And like Reverend Pat said, this is just God alone carrying her, allowing her to be as strong and composed as she is.
Yeah.
Yes. And if anybody know me, when it come down to funeral services that we do for families, when it's a child, it hit different. Um, my first time watching that video, I felt tears in my own eyes as a father.
Mhm.
Um, hearing the sibling, like, for the rest of her life, there's impossible to get that out of your head. Seeing your sister be in some seats that's killed her.
Yeah.
I'm sure as she get grown and have her own kids, what type of trauma is that's gonna be for her to put her own child on a
Yeah.
school bus? Somewhere in a video we gonna hear she she like, I don't want to ride no more school bus. Mom had to take her to the school. How, like this, a lifetime tragedy, all the way around the board.
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring mom back up. Pastor Pat, she say nobody, baby, should have to experience this. The mother has taught her children well. She can't be operating in her own strength. God carry her. And that's the same thing I thought when I seen this. Like, how is mom making it day by day? Because it get worse. It get worse. And she gonna talk about this. We're gonna I want to share some photos with you guys before I bring mom up. And we're gonna talk about something different and come back. I'm gonna bring everybody down one more time to share some photos. And I'm gonna say some of these photos are emotional. So if you cry, it's okay. Let's get to the photos part. I'm gonna start here. And mom described this photo as her first time holding her baby. I'm gonna move these comments for a second. Where you at? Who is that? Okay. That's his mom holding her baby for the first time. And then she sent me another photo. And I'm going to explain these two photos. This was at the funeral. She had a veil over the casket, so couldn't nobody touch her because she had to have her face reconstructed. The next photo gonna be a little bit clear. And this photo here was unique. On the right side, it was her at a different age. And on her left side was her at the time of passing, I believe, or it might be verse. So I'm gonna bring mom up and she's gonna talk about this photo here, because when she told it to me and working with the funeral homes, I like that's unique. So I'm gonna bring everybody back up. Mom, Tiff, Eb. Jasmine, can you tell them about this photo, what you shared with me?
Okay, so in this photo, the right side of her face is the side that y'all see now. It
This
was
here.
reconstructed. Um, so she looked at like between 14 and 16 on the right side, and on the left side, she looked like a 6-year-old little girl. She looked like herself. So I got to see my baby in as a teenager, and I also got to watch her leave me as a 6-year-old. And I was happy that they was able to reconstruct her face, and I was able to see my baby as a teenager, because I never get to see that again. Like I never get to experience that here on Earth.
Okay. How was it? How was the support of the community for you?
The whole city came together. Actually, the whole world came together. Um, they came together, and the city. This was the first time that I ever seen my city even come together. Of course, I had people say little mean stuff like we should have drove our own kids. Our kids are bad and this is that or that. But for the most part, we had a large support system when it came to the community. But it's a big but, you know. Certain people in the community, church homes, were stealing our donations. Certain
Hmm.
people from Red Cross was stealing our donations. They
Mm.
fired a lot of people at Red Cross because of that.
Wow. So let's talk about the next day after this accident. How did that look for you and your babies?
Well, Zakaria and Jasmine was still in the hospital. They came home the next day though, but Jasmine couldn't walk at first. She had torn ligaments and muscles in her foot, her right foot. Had a neck injury, had a concussion, and she suffered memory loss. Zakaria, she had a neck injury, concussion. She had her back was fractured in three different parts.
Hmm.
Um, and she they came home. They had to come home the next day, but they only stayed home for just a few hours, and then they all went with Zakaria's dad side of the family.
How was that for you, your kids having that trauma going with dad away from you? How was that?
Um, they was fine because they kept them busy and kept them doing like her Zakaria uncles and her nana and everybody her daddy, everybody, they kept them busy and kept to keep their mind off of stuff. While I was doing stuff with the funeral home and all the news reporters beating on my door and camping outside my house. Like I just didn't want them around that. They eventually came home though, right before the funeral. So
How was that day at the funeral? Because your babies had to see their sibling again
well,
in a casket.
we got to see her 2 days in a row. So the first day we did a land state, and that was from I want to say it was from 12 to 9. Yeah, I believe it's from 12 to 9, and so we was there all day, and even the funeral director let us stay. They even bought us pizzas and stuff so that we can have to eat. Um, that we stayed there. We didn't leave there until about like 10:30 at night.
Mm, okay.
Um, so that was the first day. That was December the 4th. I think we had her last date December the 4th and her funeral December the 5th. Um, so and that day was I can't really I really can't even recall that day. Like
Hmm.
everything from that day, all I know is I did not want to leave my baby's side. Um, I didn't want to leave her there. Uh, I wanted her to wake up. I wanted her to come home with me.
Right. And I
So the
know.
day of her funeral,
Go ahead.
so the next day at her funeral, Um, I can't even remember if the kids cried or not. I was too busy crying.
Hmm.
Well, I held myself together until the funeral director came and got me to tuck her in for the last time. Um, and that's what.
Tell me about the casket because that's a custom casket we looking at. Where did you find that? Did you find that? Was it donate? How did you get that frozen casket?
So a man named Trey from Texas, he reached out to me on Facebook when he heard the story and asked me to reach out to the other parents so that he can make us custom caskets.
Shout
He
out
asked
to
me,
Trey. Definitely shout outs to Trey.
he asked me what did I want on her casket. She wanted to be a doctor like Doc McStuffins, and she thought she was Elsa from Frozen. So why not give her both a best of both worlds? I gave him what I wanted, and he designed it. He how he wanted it. I just gave him the characters.
Cool.
Shout out to
Again, shout
community.
outs to him for me working with a funeral home. Um, you don't
He
see that
drove.
often.
He
You don't see
drove
that.
our caskets up here to us from Texas.
And then you had to prepare to put your baby in the ground. I'm looking for something here.
Again, Jasmine, this just shows the strength that you have as a mom. Uh, I'm not sure if you could hear us when we were talking a little bit earlier and just going over after we saw the original like video of everything. Um, and I was just saying, as a mom, like it's just that power that you have to keep going, and there's really no time to stop for yourself. And me just giving you your kudos for keeping the power to keep going for yourself and your little ones, even while you're going through all of this.
I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. I self medicated. I used Percocets. I was taking 20 to 40 Percocets. I would buy scripts from everybody. I was self medicating.
Hmm.
Um, I self medicated. Like
And we're gonna talk about that in 1 second. How you started self medicating. You said Percocets, other things. We're gonna talk about that. I wanted to her headstone. Was that donated or how did you get a headstone
uh,
made like that?
the, I went to Rico Monument Company. She had a temporary headstone down until this one came. She had another black marble one down. It was a heart with her and Jasmine on it. And until this one came. It took a year for them to make it. I told them what I wanted. I designed it, and they people overseas. They sent it over to their people overseas, and they made it.
And I'm gonna say just for the record,
Beautiful.
we do headstones. We have companies that make them. I've been to different cemeteries. I've been where high profile people have these nice headstones. And I have not yet seen something like this. It's beautiful. Um, I think I told my loved one when I pass, now I won't be standing up on my headstone. So and you did a horse, right? To that graveyard, correct?
Yeah, it was. Yes, she had horse and carriage.
And how was that seeing your baby coming down the road on a horse?
She was in front of us.
How was that watching that? for you?
I remember going live on Facebook and recording it in the family. We was in the family car. Me and my kids was in my car. And not my car. We was in a family car, and I went live, and everybody was like, "How she get in there? She was just in this other in the hearse. She was just in the car in front of us. How she get?" And so the funeral man, he was telling us like they live in a hearse before us so that they can transfer over. So she got transferred over in front of my high school, my old high school. So all the students at the school was outside recording on their phones and stuff, like just seeing the army, the military, the police officers, they had everything shut down, couldn't nothing move until we was done. And just seeing them honoring her and everybody, everybody being able to watch her final ride to her final resting place, it it made me feel like it made me feel good inside knowing that she had supporters. But leaving the grave, my world stopped.
And you say your words stop. Can you tell us? Let's talk about how did that stop that led into self medication.
Well, I was self medicating back in 2015 when I lost my first baby. But it wasn't this bad. Like, I didn't know her that long. I had almost 7 years with Fat. I had before Zyheaven went into her coma. I only had 24 days with her. So I had 26 days with her. So I didn't know her personality. I've never heard her voice. She barely even cried, so don't even know her cry. And then she went into a coma. So it hurt because it's my baby still. And I don't know if that may sound selfish because I talk more about Fat more than I talk about Zyheaven because I don't know Zyheaven. I don't know her personality. I don't know nothing. All I know is I carried her for 9 months. Well, I lied and take that back. I carried her for 7 months. And she was a normal baby for 26 days. So I was self medicating with her, but it wasn't as bad. I was taking maybe 3 pills a day. So that's a normal intake, but it wasn't my prescription. So I still was self medicating. But when Fat died, it hit different. Like, I remember your first steps, your first words. I remember your favorite color, your favorite subject. I know what you wanted to be when you grow up. I know that you wanted to be a mama like me when you grow up and you wanted to get married. You wanted to go to college. Like, I knew your smell. I knew everything about her. And just to
Hmm.
know that you send your child to school and she never make it back,
Hmm.
that's just something I'll never get over. School's supposed to be the second safest place from home, but she wasn't protected. None of those kids was protected, and my baby never made it back home. Schools is not safe like they used to be. When I was going to school in elementary, teachers cared. principals cared. And I was the baddest child that you can think of in school in elementary. I was so bad. But no matter how bad I was, my teachers and my principals cared.
We hear that prior you was using pills that wasn't prescribed to you, but it wasn't as bad. So we're gonna just talk about the beginning, and then I want to talk about this driver before we move on to when it got worse for you. So you
Mm-hmm.
using pills here and there to cope with the loss of your babies. Then this happened. Um, I don't know if anybody on the panel know how many years he received. Do you, Ebony or Tiff? Okay. Um, I get that, right? When I listen to the story, like I don't even know how I could just cope without some pills doing something like that. I can't imagine. Um, I want to talk about this driver. Have I know you say you made reports when he picked up your baby? What was his attitudes in the morning to you, or was there ever like, "Hey, can you slow down your what you doing?" My baby said AYZ. Have you ever confronted him personally?
I, I can't remember, but I went up to the school a dozen times. I wrote letters. I called the board of education. I did. I took on precautions that I was supposed to take on. And at the end of the day, like I know my kids weren't the only kids coming home telling me, "Hey, mama, this bus driver doing this. This bus driver doing that." Every time they came to me, I called and reported. I went up to the school and reported. And the last straw was when I wrote that letter. So like I mean it still angers me like because yeah, I ignored it until something happened.
Hmm. Wow. I'm gonna bring everybody down. I have a piece. It's like 5 minutes long though. It's a piece of that trial, and I want y'all to pay attention to his name Jonathan Walker
Jathoni.
or Jathoni Walker. Um, pay attention to his mood. I'm gonna bring everybody down so everybody can see this clear.
Witnesses say a school bus driver was speeding when he lost control and crashed into a tree in Chattanooga, Tennessee. 5 elementary school students were killed. And the mother of one child says that she tried to warn the school about the driver's behavior. CBS 2's Cindy Shu has the new information.
It's just so sad, you know. There's no words. I have no words.
Shaken parents took their children back to school one day after the crash that left 5 students dead and more than 20 injured.
It touched my heart because it could have been my kids.
Frantic friends and family members arrived at the hospital, shaken and sobbing. 1 little boy and 4 girls were killed in the crash. This woman fell to the ground. Jasmine Mateen lost her daughter.
She wanted to be a doctor. And my baby can't be that doctor that she wanted to be.
Mateen, who had 2 other children on the bus, says her kids told her the driver asked if they were ready to die shortly before the crash. She also says she repeatedly warned school officials about him.
Letting them know my kid said that he's drinking on the bus.
Crews hauled away the mangled bus. Its driver, 24-year-old Jonathan Walker, has been arrested and charged with 5 counts of vehicular homicide, reckless endangerment, and reckless driving. According to the affidavit, witnesses told police Walker was traveling well above the posted speed limit. In the midst of the tragedy, people rallied, waiting for hours to donate blood to help those still hospitalized. A community in mourning for the loss of 5 of its children.
There are no words that can bring comfort to a mother or a father. And so today, City is praying for these families.
Walker's mother said her heart goes out to all the victims and their families, and she also asked for compassion for her son. He is due in court November 29th.
Once again, follow the directions of Officer Hedrick and stand in front of the sheriff. They sworn to take an affirmation.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony about getting this cause is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You may be seated, sir.
Good morning. Can you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I am Jonathan Walker.
Okay. How old are you?
25.
Where'd you grow up?
Grew up here in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Were you living here in Chattanooga on November 21 of 2016?
Yes.
Who did you live with at that time?
At the time I stayed with my son and his mother.
Were you working?
Yes.
Where did you work?
I was currently working at Amazon and Durham School Services.
Okay. So tell me about your job at Amazon. What did you do there?
At the time I was working at Amazon, I was in the store department.
Okay. And what shift did you work?
Graveyard third shift.
So what does that mean for time-wise?
It's overnight. The shift was probably about 6:30 to 6. It was a new shift that had just introduced. This was a 12-hour shift.
And on what days did you work?
Thursday to Saturday.
Okay. November 21, 2016 was a Monday?
Yes.
Did you work at Amazon the night before?
No.
What was your second job?
I was a school bus driver for Durham School Services.
And when were you hired by Durham School Services?
April 21st of 2016.
Okay. And so did you actually drive students in April of 2016?
Yes.
Okay. When the kids came back to school in the fall of 2016, were you still working for Durham?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have your own route?
At that time, yes.
Okay. And were you assigned to certain schools?
Yes.
How many schools were you assigned to pick up for?
I had 3 schools. I was assigned to Woodmore Elementary, Brainerd High School, and Lakeside Elementary.
And did you have a set route for each school?
Not necessarily.
Okay, tell me how that worked.
You were old. You get new students periodically throughout the school year. Students would be taken off your route. Students would be added to the route. Since I was new, I had students that were no longer on the route, so my route changed periodically throughout the school year.
Okay. On November 21, 2016, were you supposed to be on Tally Road?
Yes.
Without giving the names of students, were there children you were dropping off on Tally Road?
Yes.
Did you do your morning bus route on November 21, 2016?
Yes.
Okay, so explain for the jury how that worked.
You come in at least, well, I came in at least an hour early most of the time. You come in, you do a morning check of your bus, like a maintenance check, your wheels, make sure no screws and bolts are loose, make sure the seats are right, electronic, like make sure your lights are working, your air brakes. It's just like an old routine of the bus. If there's any leaking oil or something of that nature, and then once you check a green light or not, then clock in and you can go.
Okay. So what school would you go to first?
My first school is Brainerd High School.
So you pick up the students in the morning and take them to Brainerd High School?
Yes.
Okay. And then after you finished at Brainerd,
But then there's a periodic wait in between the schools, and then I'm going to pick up Woodmore Elementary.
So what did you do after your morning route?
If I wasn't instructed to have another driver, I would just go sleep.
Okay. Did you report back in the afternoon for the afternoon route?
Yes.
Okay. Around what time would you get back for your afternoon route?
Afternoon routes started at 1:50 something, so I would get there around 12:30, 12:45.
Okay. And so what was the first school you picked children up at?
First school was Brainerd High School.
Okay. Did you get all the students from Brainerd High School home?
Yes.
Okay. And then where did you go after Brainerd High School, after you dropped off the Brainerd High School students?
My next school would be Woodmore Elementary.
And so on November 21, 2016, do you know what time you got to Woodmore Elementary?
I'd say around 12:30, 12:45.
Okay.
I mean, 2:30, 2:45.
Okay. For Woodmore?
Yes.
Okay. What did you usually do once you got there?
Because the school didn't let out until 3, I would sit in the back parking lot, and most time, to kill time, I would probably play games on the phone.
Was there a process to get students on the bus, to your understanding?
To my understanding.
Okay. What was your understanding of how children went on the bus?
I'm not sure exactly, but they would call the students in, from their classes at 3, and it would take a process from each grade would come into the gym. And as they set all of the students in from the gym for that grade, the buses were ran off of colors. So my bus 366 was a red bus. And once all of the students of a particular grade, they would grab the students that matched the first bus, which it was always me, the red bus, from the red bus, and they would line them up to escort them out to the bus.
Okay, and so you were always the first bus in the lineup?
Majority of the time, yes.
Okay. Can you describe what would happen typically once the students got onto your bus?
So basically, because they changed the way the students loaded onto the bus, they pushed us to the back of the school.
Okay, we are back up. I don't know. I hope I don't overthink when I see stuff, because this is what I do for a living. But at times, like, he didn't know his job duty. Like, how that blew me when I seen, like, he didn't know really his job duty. There's another video we're gonna share down the road of him. What do you think, Ebony or Tiffany, as you guys watch him during under oath?
Yeah, no, I was definitely thinking the same thing. Like, one, he seems very, very relaxed. I mean, I know it's court and you have to have a certain composure, but after what you have just caused with so much life lost to your hands, there's not, it feels cold. That's what it literally feels cold. It feels blank. Like there's no hint of any type of human emotion that you would think, yes, no remorse, that you would think would be there. Yeah, I don't understand. And it seemed like even when you were explaining, and when he was explaining it, it was like, what is the structure? What is the protocol? Because you're not seeming to tell me anything, and you don't really know how things are ran, but this is your job.
Tiffany, watching that, what was your intent?
I can say it deeply angered me just watching it. It stirred up an emotion inside of me just watching how, like, he was just a passerby that seen it happen or something like that. Like, his
Right.
tone, it wasn't any type of remorse. It was just, it was as if he was just saying, oh well, you know. There was absolutely nothing. And for him to only initially, I believe he only got what, 4 years? He only got the 6 because of a different charge, I believe, if I read it correctly. But it was as if he knew that he wouldn't have gotten the time that he deserved, in a sense. You know, he's up there, he didn't took parents' babies away from them. And he's sitting up there like he just knocked over a cup of milk or something like that. So yeah, if it angered me, Jasmine, I can just imagine what it stirred up and what it still stirs up inside of you.
Well, Pastor, y'all see how Tiffany just took off. She told y'all how many years he got. Let's say what?
My bad.
So, that's okay. You my host. Before we talk about the 6, which have nothing to do with this case, but he received 4 years for taking 6 lives. That's not a year per child. That's crazy. I didn't do the math on that, but 4 years, Pastor. No, not 6 years, 4 years. 4 years for taking these kids' life. And I'm gonna ask mom
And
about
that's 4 years
this.
for
Go ahead. You
that's
good.
4 years, and that's 4 years for 18 misdemeanors and 23 felonies that he was convicted of and found
Re-
guilty of.
Repeat that for the people in the background to hear that one more time.
That's 4 years for 18 misdemeanors and 23 felonies that he was convicted and found guilty of.
You hear that, Reverend Pat? Uh, and when I see this picture of mom, I understand that now. Y'all just gave this man what, 4 years for all these misdemeanors and felonies? Like what how do it look down there, for the court system? How do that
Look,
down there for the court system? Because to me, helping family with justice, when I see 4 years in some place that we know South became racist, right? The birth of it. Um, did this man care that these children was of color? I'm my mind gone everywhere. So when I see mom in this picture yelling, like, I can only imagine the words was coming out of her mouth. Um, Pastor, Reverend Pat, unbelievable, right? Can't believe nothing. Like, the phone line is open if you guys want to call in and speak to mom and say whatever comments or whatever. The phone lines is open. The phone number is right there as well on your screen. Oh man, 4 years. Mom, when you heard 4 years for these counts, tell us what was that
oh,
courtroom
I blew.
like.
I don't know what the courtroom was like. I know what I was like. I got put out.
Hmm.
I blew. What you mean 4 years? 4 years? But let there have been 6 white kids. Not to bring race in it, but let it been six
Facts is
white kids that
facts.
lost their life. Man, they would have threw the book at him. And that just like, come on now, like he got 4 years for unaliving 6 kids, injuring 31 kids. How and why? I didn't harm nobody, and I got a 20-7. Like it, but like it's crazy to me.
Go ahead, Ebony. I see you shaking your head.
Oh, I'm as blown. I mean, anything he says wouldn't even matter. But just seeing how emotionless he was, did he ever?
He never even apologized to us.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, did he ever take accountability? Did he say sorry? Not that would help, but something.
He showed no remorse, and his mama was no better, telling us that we should have drove our own badass kids to school and they would still be alive. At trial.
Oh, wow. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's crazy. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, you guys. We have a caller. I'm gonna make sure you guys, Tiffany. We have. Can you state your name?
Reverend Pat Flowers.
Can you guys hear Reverend Pat?
Yes.
Okay, they can't hear you.
Hear me?
Yep. Go ahead.
Hear me now?
Yep, you good.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Mom, my beautiful sister. I am in tears and I am praying for you.
Thank you.
My heart goes out to you, and you have to have others around you that are holding you up. But there's no way you could do this on your own. I think I put in the chat. I live in Katy, Texas, and they are fighting over putting seat belts on the buses because of the cost.
I tried to do that.
And they just built a $2.5 million football stadium, $5 million football stadium. It looks like a professional team could play there. And I have grandsons that are 7 and 8, and it blows my mind that this would happen, and this person is sitting there like he's reading a script. No emotion, no compassion, no empathy, no nothing. 4 years. I'm sorry, babe. I'd be sitting in the cell next to him. Me and Jesus have to talk in the jail cell.
Right.
Somebody ain't gonna make it. I'm just telling you, somebody ain't gonna make it. No way. They would have had to put me out, but I would have been handcuffs. This is ridiculous. Oh my God. I am praying for you. I am praying for you. I am praying for you. And I'm praying for your babies. I'm praying for your babies.
Thank you.
But God's got them. God's got them because you have shown them with your strength.
Yes.
How to hold on. So I just had to call in. I promised I would be on, but I did not expect it. So you owe me. This is not what I expected.
And again, thank you, Pastor, for coming on. I'll follow her. I know Greg wanted to know about the story, so hopefully he can bring her on with you guys.
Yeah.
Because this story, man, no parent should have to go through what she went through.
None. This is horrible. This is horrible. Tell your story. Tell your story, dear. You need to hook up with Angela Lewis and write it out and tell your story. Because you are not a victim, you are a survivor.
And she do have a book. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit. That's all right. I'll name you as my other host because you and Tiffany just bam. But we're gonna talk about it in a little bit about her book. I'm holding that book in my hand right now. So yeah, I haven't read it because I didn't want to be biased. But hey, I can't wait till tonight.
Okay. All right, dear. You stay blessed.
Definitely. Thank you, Pastor.
Right.
Again.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. pastor can't believe it. Unless a pastor, she can't believe it. See, she can't say some things like, I ain't no pastor. I'm gonna tell this nigga should be killed. But we know he didn't per se care. He did show no emotional. Like, I think that's what's me. I'm been crying. I'm been trying to hug the mothers. Please forgive
Even
me.
on the scene, he had no emotion. Like, he was just sitting there. You know, God hit you in your eye.
And I believe like he got on his cell phone and made some phone calls. Like, you got time to
before he even called 911.
How do that work? Right? How
And the
do
fact that
that
he
work?
said he had a kid too, you would think if he's a parent, there would be a little more of a connection of remorse, but no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna get too ahead of myself either. So I'm gonna wait till that part come on because I don't think he cared about anybody kids, let alone his own kids.
Definitely. And we're gonna talk about we're gonna skip him for a little bit because he's not important for me to really keep talking about him. But we're gonna bring him back up because you would think like you just beat the fucking system, dude. 4 years. I've been working homicide cases and trial for 7 years and haven't seen a 4 years for one life yet. You walk out after getting the 4 years. You didn't even go to jail. You walk out the courthouse as a free man with 4 years.
On bond, appealed his sentence.
Right. Like, how do you I have to say this. The Honorable George should have been lost his job. Like, that's not justice.
He should have gave him the same time that he gave my brother 20-something years prior to this incident. He should have gave him the same life sentence without parole plus 27 years that he gave my brother for killing a white cab driver, a white homeless cab driver at that. That my brother didn't even kill. So that was just one life.
Maybe he having a relationship with the prosecutor. Something going on. I'm telling y'all.
It ain't the prosecutor. It's the judge. The judge. I believe the judge was paid off. I don't care. I know it wasn't the prosecutor. So me and the prosecutor locked in like this. Like, I go to his house and everything. Like, it ain't him.
But this ain't money.
That man cry every time he see me. I know it ain't him.
Wow. We're gonna come back and talk about where he's at today. But I want to talk about I want to show some photos. I think I'm gonna leave everybody up as I show these photos. And then we're gonna talk about them. All right. Y'all know who that is? Tiffany, like, you know who that is?
Oh yeah, that Jasmine.
Okay. Jasmine.
That's all.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask Ebony this one. Who's this, Ebony?
The one and the only.
Just take a wild guess. I'm gonna ask both y'all. To be fair, where you think she at? Just look at that picture. Where you think she at?
Where is she? Are you at a concert?
Okay, concert. No. Tiffany, go ahead.
I don't know. I don't know.
You gotta take a guess.
Walmart.
Parking lot.
Okay, Walmart. Okay. Let me finish my photos. So when she took those pictures, she was incarcerated in prison.
Oh.
Let's talk about incarceration for you. This is her mugshot. Yeah, look better in the mask. Go ahead. Let's talk about incarceration, Jasmine, and what led up to incarceration.
So, I'm not, like I said, I was spiraling out of control. Like I was going through grief, taking care of kids, taking all them to they appointments, being forced to give a child up for adoption, and my child hadn't even been in the ground 6 months yet. Um, I I was over it. Like I was over it at this point. Like I was over it. So I had moved to Georgia, bought a house behind my husband's back, furnished it, and took my kids and left. Um, and he didn't know where we lived. And my daughter Jasmine wanted to see her daddy. So I reached out, and he was supposed to come and get him, or whatever. So, let me keep this in mind. At this point in time in my life, I no longer believed in God. Like I hated him. I despised him. I didn't want nothing to do with him. I didn't want to hear about him. Don't tell me that it's gonna be all right. Don't tell me you praying for me. None of that. Don't tell me God got at this point. I didn't want to hear none of that. I had lost all my faith. Like I accepted the first child, but I could not accept the second child at this point in my life. Then, so my husband, we working it out, was gonna get back together. I was gonna pack up my stuff and go back or whatever. And he was supposed to get the kids that weekend so I can come home and pack up because I had just sent the girl that I was dating at the time back home to Chicago. And he he said that I was supposed to meet him halfway. Well, my foot was broke on this Friday. I had just broke my foot like 3-4 days prior, and but on this Friday, I remember my daughter Zakaria coming in the room and telling me that she didn't like when I take pain pills. She was like, I don't like when you take pain pills because you're not yourself. You have to take a pain pill to get out of the bed. You got to take a pain pill to do activities. You got to take a pain pill to go to bed. If you ain't got them, you lock yourself in a room and don't want to be bothered. Like she was like, I don't want you taking pain pills no more. So it was at that moment that I flushed my pills. I called my best friend at the time, and I was like, Keisha, I don't want to take pain pills no more. Like I'm crying. I don't want to take pain pills no more. And she was like, well, Nikki, bring me the kids and go turn yourself into rehab. Now listen, your tongue is the most powerful thing. The powerful muscle on your body is your tongue. So I said to her, I can't because I can sign myself out. Mind you, this was on that Friday. So she said, well, what you want me to do? And I said, I don't know, but I can sign myself out. I can't. So the next day,
I think we lost her for a second. Jasmine, if you can't hear me, we lost your video. You can go out, come back in, or um as we waiting for her, Tiffany, I mean, it's crazy, right? Like
I did want to point something out. I'm glad she used hated in the past tense, right? That she hated God in the past tense. She had lost all her faith that's in the past tense. You know, sometimes we can go through something and that's horrific. It's horrific. And some people will feel like it's nothing else to look forward to. Like God took my baby, you know, they don't want
Mm-hmm.
nothing else to do with God. Oh, there you go. Okay, you go ahead.
You have your audio back.
I think she froze.
Go out and come back in. Just log out, come back in. Go ahead, finish what you were saying,
Oh,
Tiff.
but you know, sometimes we go through things and it breaks us entirely. You know, certain mind states that we are in, certain situations we go through, certain life experience, and losing not one, but two children, having to take care of the rest of your children, and a baby that just came out of NICU, and she said she had to give a baby up for adoption. You know, so I can understand the spiral, you know, and then questioning God as to why you allowing all of this to happen. But I'm so thankful that she used that hated in past tense, because if I'm listening to what she's saying when she said the tongue is a powerful thing, that she said she didn't want to go to rehab because she could sign herself out, my next thought is, okay, I'm about to see you somewhere where you can't sound yourself out, and where it's just me and you, where it's just her and God. Listen, I'm still here, you know, but let's go ahead and get you clean. Let's go ahead and get you together to where you can't sound yourself out, you know. And sometimes we go through those situations that we don't yet understand, but God knows exactly what He's doing, the pruning, the crushing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we need that to become a better us. Now look at her, an author, you know, she has a story to tell. She's uplifting and helping other parents as well, you know, that may
Mm-hmm.
be going through the same loss. So
And she said she backstage, so she can't hear us. I want you. I don't know if I shared this, that Tiffany is in the ministry as well. So can you just repeat what you said about you noticed she used the word hate as a past tense before I
yeah,
bring her back up?
sure.
Okay, she said she heard all that. Okay.
Oh, she
She
did.
heard it all. Okay. So I'm gonna bring her up. Go ahead and finish where
What
you at. I'm sorry.
what was the last thing that y'all heard me say?
Now you want me to
Oh,
do some work. Go ahead, Tiff. Then go
no,
ahead.
that you said that you didn't want to go in because you could check yourself out, and that the tongue
Okay.
is the most powerful muscle.
Yes. So, um, so the next day I was supposed to meet my husband, and my husband asked me to meet him halfway, and I was like, "Listen, I can't meet you halfway. I'm going through withdrawals. I had just flushed all my pain pills, the ones that I bought and the ones that were prescribed to me. I had just flushed them the night before, and I was like, I'm going through withdrawals, and I can't. You have to come all the way up here." So he was like, "What's the address?" I gave him the address, and that's how he got my address. Um, got my address just to tell me he's not coming our way up there. I said, okay, that's fine, whatever. So now my daughter's asking me to say it because she wanted to see her daddy. She hadn't seen her daddy in a year. She wanted to see her daddy. So, um, she crying and stuff or whatever. I said, I got something for you. So we played a prank. My daughter texted her daddy from her phone. It was like, "Dad, come and get us. Mama finna kill us." So he was like, "No, she ain't," or whatever. Like he didn't believe it. So she texted her sister. She was like, "No, she ain't. She didn't believe it either." So I had to FaceTime my stepdaughter, video call her on Facebook or whatever. And I had a brand new gun, had never been used, didn't even have bullets for it. Didn't even, the clip wasn't even in it. And and how I put it in the camera, it looked like it was by my daughter's head. And they said I put a gun up to my daughter's head. That's how I ended up in prison the very next morning on a no bun. So when I say your tongue is a powerful thing, it is. I wasn't strong enough to get clean by going to rehab on my own. So God set me down. He set me down. My vulnerable, but he didn't want me to burn out. So it was it takes it takes 21 days to break a habit. 21 days to break a habit. It takes so I was like in 21 days I'd be good. But guess what? Them 21 days I wasn't craving them no more. I mean, like wasn't really worried about them. But then, and then you know what's crazy is God did not let me withdraw in jail. And it was crazy. I withdrew that Saturday, but that Sunday when I went to jail, I didn't have no signs of withdrawal. God, He was with me because the only thing they gonna do is Suboxone to. That's another drug to be high on. I didn't want that for me. I was done with being high. I was done with being numb. I wanted to feel emotions. I wanted to go through the grief. I wanted to heal. So I started going through, like, you lose everybody when you go to jail. You lose everybody. I had nobody but my mama, my little brother, my two little brothers, my big brothers, and shit. Half of the time they will when they answer the phone. So, I had nobody else to turn to but my Bible. I started getting in my Bible, started having Bible study with the girls in the dorm, started going to Bible. I'm at church on Sundays and Wednesdays in the county. And then before you know it, I was there for 2 years. And it was time to go to prison. I took my plea deal, like I was tired of being there. They offered me 145 years. And I told them go to hell. Told my lawyer go to hell. Um they came and they normally only give you 3 deals, but they came with me with 5 plea deals. And I took the last one. I was just ready to get and go home. Because I asked to go to trial. First of all, I asked for a fast and speedy trial the first 30 days I was there, and they denied me, which is illegal. Um, then I asked, I told them I wanted to go to trial. So then they lied to me and said that you're going to be sitting here for another 4 to 5 years before you go to trial. Huh? But go ahead, go give me a deal. Just go and give me a deal. So I took the 20-7 and I did 3 years in prison. 2 years in county, 3 years in prison. I got the prison. I had made up my mind. I prayed to God. I said, God, do not let me out of here until I'm truly over pain pills. I'm truly over my addiction. See, a lot of people don't understand the difference between an addict and a junkie. An addict is a person that can function and still move on through life, still take care of their responsibilities with no problems. A junkie is a person that sells their body to get their next high, or do whatever they got to do to get their next high. That's the difference between a junkie and an addict. I was an addict, so I I prayed to God before I left Canada. I said, "Do not let me leave until I'm truly over my addiction. Don't let me leave until I get my GED." I went to prison. 3 months after I went to prison, I got my GED. Um, Then I went into Common Goods, of Atlanta Clemente course. I graduated there. I got 6 college credits for doing a year of that. I was a counselor aide. I was a certified mentor through Pathfinders. I was a mentor on campus. I actually lived in a mentor dorm where I mentored the new intakes. I was a facilitator. I facilitated all the parole, well, a lot of the parole classes, and I facilitated a program called Tapuku, and it stands for the only person you cheat is you.
The only person you
Um,
cheat is you. Okay.
and then I left and went to the transitional center, which is on the other side of the prison gate. But in prison, like we cooked together. We was like family. We cooked together. We cried together. We sang together. We danced together. We laughed together. We loved each other. We loved each other in our most rawest moments.
Let me ask you,
And for
Jasmine.
the first time in a long time, since I was a 4-year-old little girl, that 4-year-old little girl that was molested, I realized I actually felt loved for the first time from other people other than my kids.
Behind bars. Let me ask
That
you
was the
as
first time
we
I was able to trust other people.
Mm.
I love that for you.
right. Let me ask you. You guys hearing? Okay, thanks. We got around 15
I wrote my
minutes
book and
left.
published it while I was in prison.
And where can people find your book at? Tell them where
I
they can
tutored
find your
girls
book.
in prison,
Jasmine, can you hear?
girls that only had a fifth grade
I don't think she
education
hear me.
got their
Y'all hear me
GED
though?
before they left. Can't hear you.
I'm gonna have her go out and come back in. I don't know why she can't hear.
Can y'all hear now?
Um,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna kick her out and she know come back in. So um listening to her how prison changed her life. What's your thoughts, Tiff?
I'm gonna let Eb go first.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask her, so whenever she comes back, but just based on what she's shared with us, it really sounds like prison was her saving grace. Uh, she knew what she wanted, and through divine intervention, like God gave her what she needed, like exactly what she needed. And it sounds like through the process and through those years, oh, there she goes. Hey, Jasmine. But I was just saying,
Hello.
it sounded as if prison was that healing that you really needed. If that's true, I don't know. But is that true? Is that what you would say? Is that part of the process that helped the healing?
Yeah, because not only did I have to heal, I had a lot of healing to do. I had to heal that little girl inside of me that was broken too.
Hmm.
That little girl that was lost out here in the world trying to find love, and that's how I ended up with the husband I ended up with,
Tiffany,
trying to have that same love that I used to get from my daddy.
your feedback, because we down to around 12 more minutes and we still have to touch on this guy. Um briefly, what's your intake? Was she
I love God so bad. And just to hear Jasmine's story and how she recognized how God, well, how she was able to see where God stepped in for her and with her, and that he had never left her the whole time. It was just some things that was maybe, clouding her. Like she said, she was spiraling. It was a lot of stuff she was trying to deal with. Although God never left, sometimes God needs to get us by ourselves for us to know that he been right there. And God knows exactly what we need, how we need it, when we need it. So I just thank God that you was able to reach out and grab his hand and know he was there. For
man?
sure.
Man, and I'm just gonna post
God
that
did his big one
picture
on you,
every
Jazz.
month.
I say that.
right? And do that big thing, right?
Oh yeah. I can't wait to read the book.
Right.
Be prepared to cry.
Right.
Right.
I was
And
about to cry
definitely,
this whole time.
I ain't cried already.
Pastor, you are a walk-in testimony, sister. If I could come through this screen and hug you, I would. Hey, Alexa, bring
Do a
Reverend
hug.
Pat through the screen.
So I just gave her a virtual hug.
Right.
I couldn't find that content.
Be quiet. My Alexa play too much, y'all. But get ready for this here. I'm gonna ask, and Pastor Pat, you can type it in your comments, and I will put it up. What do you think the bus driver is doing with his life now after taking the life of 6 kids, getting 4 years? What would you think he is doing now, Pastor? And you can put your comments in the text. I will bring it up. In the meantime, Pastor Pat said, "That's preach." And I'm writing that down. The only person you cheat is you. Amen. So let me see. I'm waiting for Pastor to come back to just take a wild guess what this guy is doing now. We know he took the life of 6 kids, injured over 25 other kids. How? I mean, he should have a church scoring, I would think, huh? Something, right? To say, man, at least give God some grace. But I don't see her comments. She probably typing it out, you guys. But I'm gonna bring up something here. Let's see which one is it, because it's a photo. And when I seen this today, I'm gonna play the video. Forget the photo. I'm bringing everybody down because he need down. Let me come back up. This is what he got going on now.
News tonight, the Chattanooga bus driver behind the wheel during a crash that killed 6 children is arrested tonight in Nashville. Matthew Torres has the exclusive video. Matthew, we just watched him being walked in. What can you tell us?
That's right, guys. Our cameras were the only ones here as Jonathan Walker was taken into Metro Jail literally just within a half an hour ago. So as we speak, he is being booked in right now. Take a look at our exclusive video of when the patrol car first arrived here. You see him walking out in that unmarked police car with his head down. What we know so far is that he is being accused of sexually assaulting someone here in Davidson County and that he was brought here earlier today. Walker, as you might recall, was convicted earlier this year for a bus crash in 2016 in Chattanooga that killed 6 students. That bus carried more than 30 children on board with those horrific images. He was sentenced to 4 years in prison for many charges, including criminally negligent homicide. That was a decision by the judge that divided the courtroom, but the judge ruled then that he wasn't a dangerous offender. Now, you might be asking, now that he was sentenced, why he is here in Davidson County. That is because he was out on bond as he is now appealing his sentence in Chattanooga. We just saw detectives earlier that is part of the booking process as we speak, and hopefully get to learn more details about this as soon as the paperwork comes in. But once again, he is is accused of sexually assaulting someone in Davidson County. This man already convicted of playing a role in the death of 6 students in a bus crash in Chattanooga back in 2016. Make sure to stay tuned on NewsChannel5.com and News Channel 5 this morning as we await more details. Reporting live in Nashville, I'm Matthew Torres, News Channel 5.
What? Go ahead, Tiffany.
That's what I was trying. I was kind of cueing to a little earlier that he didn't care about nobody kids. Statutory rape, and I heard it was
And
a
it was his own
14-year-old.
cousin. It was his own cousin.
Oh, he's a predator. And then earlier it said that he asked the kids on the bus, was they ready to die? Like, I don't understand why they didn't throw the book at this man in the first place. He's a danger.
The black box was tampered with. I can tell you that much. The black box was tampered with. Durham came and got the black box off the bus, and they had the FBI had to make them bring it back. And when they brought it back, it was tampered with.
And tampering with evidence.
The audio.
That's probably why he took so long to call the police in the first place.
Crazy. And if you've seen the flyer, it's a part 1 because it's still so much to this story. Also, another mother wants to share what she went through, losing her child, having a baby on that bus as well. So we're gonna be working on a part 2. Reverend Pat, I'm gonna send you that invite to be part of the panel for that. But what we haven't even talked about, real fast, Jasmine, how much was the lawsuit amount that you guys receive?
Everybody received different amounts, but we cannot disclose how much we got.
Okay.
It was in the NDA.
With the amount that you receive, was
But
that
needless to say, I'm just gonna say it like this. While I was incarcerated, my house was illegally sold, and while I was incarcerated, the Bank of America allowed the girl that used to live with me come in there and take $500,000 out my bank account. My house was worth. I bought it for 390,000, but it was worth at the time of sale. It was worth a little over. I think it was like $567,000 at the time. So you just do the math from there, and that's just that. So I came home to nothing. No house, no cars, no nothing. She sold everything.
And was it because she thought you weren't coming home or something?
Yep. She thought I was gonna do them 145 years.
Wow.
Wow. Jazz, your story is definitely a lifetime movie based on true events. Don't stop telling your story. when people call, want to know your story, tell your story in honor of your babies. Because your story is powerful because it started at the worstest and then you found comfort when the court thought it was going to give you this crazy amount of years. And that's where you found your peace to bounce back and been bouncing back ever since. I agree with you, Reverend Pat. Sick. Um, keep your baby memory alive. You always welcome on our platform. We definitely gonna do a part 2 of this. Before I do some closing thoughts, I have to play a commercial, and before I play that commercial, a young man life was taken in Indianapolis, and his mother been on here, and Antoine life was taken, and this is a photo of the person that killed Antoine, and the police is asking the community if you know him or have any information to call Crime Stoppers of Indianapolis. So if you watching, you know him, reach out so that mother can have some closure. And I just have one video commercial to play, then we're going to do closing remarks and bring everybody down.
Hi, this is the Williams, Mr. and Mrs. Williams from Stevenson's Academy of Hair Design. We are located in New Orleans, Louisiana. We are here to talk about Stop the Violence. Mr. Williams?
And we're asking you all to consider, and this is dear to our heart, consider burying the guns rather than burying one another. We all are human beings. We all have our own opinions about things. But you know, I found that we can sit down and talk with people even though we have different opinions. And just like we want to have the respect of having our own opinion, then we should respect other people's opinion. But the important thing is we don't need to destroy one another.
Amen. Amen. Final thoughts. Tiffany, you want to go or you want Ebony go? Whoever.
Yeah, I'll go. No, I just want to say thank you for sharing your story as much as you have with us so far. Definitely is a testimony. Definitely is kind of those phrases when they say, but God, like you're completely overcoming every single time. And that's something to be known, valued, all of the things you tried to do to advocate for things before it became what it was, but even overcoming that into where you are now. I think it's just a continued story and something that people can look forward to for growth, for strength, and just what they need to do better when it comes to advocacy and just trying to do the right thing for the kids, let alone ourselves as parents. So thank you.
Thank you, Ebony.
Well,
And
you're
Ebony,
welcome.
before Tiffany come, where can people find you at? Tell them a little about what you do.
Oh, are you talking? I'm sorry.
Yes.
um, I mean, if you want to look for me on social media, I am the co-founder of Love You, Hope You, Love You Too. It's an organization I started with my co-creator, Kenneth Liddell. And part of that is just a way of me trying to bring love to the world, like feeling like people, if you realize what self-love is, find love within yourself, you can really have so much strength. The power of self-love will give you the strength to just carry on. And I want to bring that to the world. So that's where you can find me on social media. Love You, Hope You, Love You Too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Tiffany.
Oh, I'm with Ebony, Jasmine. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and I'm so glad that you are an open book because your story could change the lives of so many people. It's heartbreaking, but yet it's so inspiring at the same time. And I'm just glad that you and God linked arms together, and now your test went to a testimony. And I do thank you for that. So appreciate you, girl.
You're welcome.
Where can people find you? Tell them about
I can't hear you.
Tiffany. Who can't hear me? Can you hear me, Tiff?
Mm-hmm.
Josh, you can't hear me?
I can't hear you.
Go out and come back. Let me kick her off right now. Kick from studio. And wait till she come back so you can tell her where she can find you at almost what, Monday through Fridays?
Monday through Fridays.
Okay, here she go. Okay, tell the people and Jazz where they can find you Monday through Friday and what you do.
So Monday through Friday, I'm live on TikTok every morning for about 3 or 4 hours a day, selling Saya Baba products. That's where I am, part owner, the marketing officer for Saya Baba. So yeah, Monday through Friday at about between 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to about 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just on there selling company products. I'm also a minister, so yeah. That's me. But yeah, Monday through Friday. Also, my personal page is Minister T. That's Minister TII. That's my personal page, and the company's page is Saya Baba, SYABABA.
Okay, thank you. And for myself and standing in for the staff in the background, we definitely thank you for trusting us to bring your story. We have Bob Goff who been called me and said, "Hey, I'm gonna be watching you guys tonight." He's the president of Uganda, so shout outs to him and his people over in Uganda and everybody who took the time to tune in. And we just thank you. Do you have any final thoughts you want to share, Jasmine?
I just want to thank everybody for taking the time out to listen to my story, listen to my journey. But my story is still being written. This ain't the end for me. And for anybody that feels like they can't keep going, even when you can't keep going, find that little bitty hope, that little bitty piece of hope in you, and keep going. Don't give up.
Don't give up. Powerful.
Yes,
Powerful.
don't give up.
Powerful. Well, as we end this, y'all know I had paid commercial, so I made the last commercial as an ending. So thank you guys. Don't go nowhere. Pandle for a second. Part 2 coming. Stay tuned.
It is said that guns don't kill people. Well, tell that to the parents, children, siblings, or even a best friend who has suffered the pain of losing a loved one to the senseless act of gun violence. In this country every year, there are thousands of young people that die from gun violence. And that does not include those that are injured or may be disabled for life. It has to stop. Bury guns, not our daughters and sons.